Good morning, students and teachers. I am, of course, Mr. Kwan, your principal. I want to thank everyone for a great first 3 weeks of school, and I hope your classes are going well and you're settling into your schedules. I especially want to thank students for abiding by the school rules, including everyone's favorite topics, the dress code and cell phone policies. We want to ensure that your primary focus is on academics because our mission is to prepare you all for successful futures, especially in college and in your future careers. The purpose of this video is to share some useful information with all students and to provide some important school-wide updates.
We're going to talk about three things today. First, preparing for high school, college, and career. Then, resources for students, what to do in certain situations. And finally, guidelines for being a successful student at Wallace-Annenberg. So our focus statement for this year is Wallace-Annenberg High School will graduate students who are aware of their social responsibilities and will possess the skill set and abilities to take on the challenges of college and career in pursuit of their life goals. I want to highlight a couple things in this focus statement, and this is created by your teachers and staff. So notice social responsibilities. At our school, not only do we want to teach students math and science and English and focus on academics, but we also want to make sure that we are helping students gain the skill set and abilities in other areas of life. For example, study skills, which will be useful in college and many of which will also be useful in the working world. We want to make sure students know how to collaborate successfully with other people, which they will again have to do in your future careers. And certain other things such as staying on top of current events and important things that happen in your community and in the world at large. We, of course, want to focus on college and career mainly by teaching the core subjects. And finally, the reason why we are doing all of this is to really prepare students for a successful and happy life. Alright, so I want to take a moment and address the question, why college? College is something that we promote at our school, and I'm sure you've heard teachers and adults talk about college quite a lot. I'm sure you maybe have siblings who are currently in college, and your parents might talk about their experience as well. So one reason why college can be very important is because of the opportunities and the doors that it opens up to you. This chart specifically highlights the average income level that an American made in 2010 based on what degree they had. If you take a look at the first bar, it says no high school diploma. So these are, generally speaking, these are high school dropouts. They didn't make it through high school. And they, on average, make $24,787 per year. That's an average amount. There certainly are exceptions to the rule, but on average, if you don't have a high school diploma, many opportunities are closed to you, and you only have the opportunity to have certain jobs, and it keeps you at that income level. The second bar is for a high school graduate. If you get your high school diploma, and that's the furthest level of education you get, then on average in 2010, you would have made $38,976, a substantially higher amount than if you didn't have your high school diploma. As you can imagine, if you get your bachelor's degree, which is spending 4 years at a university or college, you make a lot more money, on average $75,568. And notice that it's almost twice as much money per year for the rest of your life if you have a bachelor's degree. So this answers the question, why college? The opportunities it opens up, you just end up being able to get a different level type of job. And that job tends to pay out much better than if you didn't have your college degree or bachelor's degree. There is another level beyond bachelor's degree, or a couple different levels. and that's getting your master's and or doctorate. Notice how much more someone makes if they have their master's and or doctorate degree. And when you have that degree, you tend to be in a leadership role within your organization. Now, it's not all about money. You can certainly live a happy life at any of these levels, and that's not the point that we are trying to make. But not having money and not having adequate resources can lead to a lot of stress, frustration, and unhappiness, and we want to prepare our students for happy and fulfilling lives in the best way that we can. On this slide, we have a summary of what colleges are looking for, and they're looking for a lot of things. So again, if colleges can open up the door of opportunity for us, now we want to zoom in and see what do we need to do to make sure we get into a good college. There's a lot on this slide, but I do want to focus on number one, not surprisingly, GPA and class rank. GPA stands for grade point average. And really what that's telling us is we need to focus on getting good grades. So there's a reason why we keep talking to you about college. There's a reason why we keep telling you to make sure to stay on top of your grades and to foster good study skills, because that's what colleges are looking for. All of this fits into the picture of we want you to have a successful life. And for right now, your job as a student is to get good grades and stay on top of your studies. If you look at numbers 2 through 6, there are a lot of other factors that colleges look at, generally in this order of importance. The SAT or ACT score is very important at number 2, but secondary to how you do in high school, with your grades in your current classes. Extracurricular activities, of course, are important. Community service, reference letters and interviews. And number 6 says legacy/relationship to the school, which is something that you can describe in your personal statement where you get a chance to talk about who you are and where you come from. So the main point, focus on getting good grades, and Miss Elia can help you along the way. She has a lot of great experience in college admissions. She has actually played a role in selecting students at the college that she worked at, and so her insight and experience is very valuable to each of us. Okay, so a little bit about resources for students, what to do in a couple different situations that commonly happen. What do you do if you're going to miss a day or more of school? And of course, this happens to all of us. Maybe you're sick, maybe your family is going on a trip. So it's important when you miss a day of school that your parents contact the main office so they have the information that they need. The main office will coordinate with them to get the necessary medical notes or what have you. But as a student, it is your responsibility that you don't fall behind. So, number 2, speak to your teachers to get work ahead of time if possible. If you're sick, maybe that wasn't possible, you didn't anticipate being out, but sometimes you do know that you're going to miss school. So definitely speak to your teachers ahead of time, and a lot of times they can give you some work to do in your absence. Next one, check in with all of your teachers and attend office hours upon returning. So when you do come back, make sure you talk to every single one of your teachers after class and see what you're missing in terms of material, what you need to study up on, and attend their office hours so that you can make up additional work that you may have missed. And then lastly, if you've missed a day or more of school, you certainly want to make sure to reduce your future absences. Definitely the students that have the most failing grades tend to be the ones who miss the most school. There's a direct correlation between how much school is missed and basically how well students do in school. So make sure that you reduce future absences, because that is the most important thing in terms of keeping your grade up, is to actually be at school. All right, what to do if your grades begin to drop? So let's say you are attending every single day, but your grades begin to drop for a variety of reasons. So regardless of the reason, if your grades begin to decline, you certainly want to speak to the teacher after class about your grade and class performance. The teacher can give you a lot of good information about what material you need to make sure that you stay on top of, that you need to study, or what tests or quizzes you're missing, or homework that you need to focus on. So your teacher can give you all of that information. The first thing you need to do is talk to your teacher. Secondly, you definitely want to attend office hours. Again, this may look similar to the previous list, but that's on purpose. You'd want to coordinate with your teacher, and you need more time to communicate with them and more time to make up work and retake tests and quizzes. So attend office hours in that situation. And then finally, rearrange your time and priorities. If your grades begin to drop, you're likely not focusing the appropriate amount of attention in school. And it is important to realign your priorities to make school high up on that list. Again, it is your job as a student to make sure you do well in school so that you can go to a good college, so that you can have a satisfying job, so that you can have a fulfilling life and future. And one more, what to do if you are being bothered by other students. And, again, in a variety of different ways that this could look like. The first thing to do is don't escalate or contribute to the situation. If you're being bothered by other students, it is very likely that's not your fault that you're in that situation. So definitely don't escalate and don't contribute to the situation. Number 2, you certainly want to let somebody know. Miss Arvanitis, the dean, would be the first person that you would want to let know. But you can also certainly let any administrator or teacher know that you're being bothered by other students. So again, don't contribute to the situation, and then let an adult know as soon as you can. The third one says, just a reminder to everyone that bullying of any type, online bullying, in-person bullying, whether it's verbal or whether it's, just the way you're looking at someone, that is not tolerated at all at Wallace-Annenberg High School. So that's a reminder to everyone. And so this list is if you're being bothered by other students, but if you are someone who is bothering other students, we take that very seriously, and the safety of all students is a primary concern of ours. All right. Now, a couple of reminders. Dress code, once again. White polo shirt. Doesn't have to be a white polo shirt. It could be any other white collared shirt. Just, no designer pattern on it. And of course, khaki pants. We've been slowly unfolding the dress code policy to give students and parents time to, get the necessary materials. So you'll notice over the last few weeks, we have kind of slowly unfolded. And beginning next week, we are going to have all teachers send all students down in all periods that are not in dress code. So we've given the appropriate, time for the policy to unfold. And I'm going to repeat that last thing. Starting next week, all teachers are going to check all students in all classes. So please make sure you are in dress code. If you have any questions, you are welcome to talk to Miss Arvanitis outside of class time. Hats and hoodies, please keep those items off indoors. Hats and hoodies, please keep those off indoors. Your teachers will ask you to take them off and put them away, and please do so quickly and respectfully. On Fridays, we of course have free dress. There were questions about this, so we do have free dress on Fridays. And we ask that students abide by the dress code on Fridays, which means no ripped jeans, shorts and skirts must be of fingertip length, and shirts must completely cover upper body, must completely cover your stomach. So please abide by these tenets of the dress code. And we are going to have all teachers, again, check students in all periods to make sure that they do not have ripped jeans and they have shorts and shirts and skirts that are of the appropriate length. Cell phones and electronics, nothing new here, but it's worth repeating. The use of cell phones and personal electronics is prohibited at our school. So if you do have those devices, they must be off and out of sight. I'm going to repeat that. Electronics must be off and out of sight. The first time electronics are taken by any staff, an administrator will return it at the end of the school day. The first time electronics are taken by any staff, an administrator will return it to you at the end of the school day. The second time and beyond that electronics are taken again by any staff, so the second time, third time, fourth time, and beyond, at that point in time, we will not release the electronics to the student. Your parent or guardian must pick up the device from the administrator. One more thing. If your cell phone, your electronics must be off and out of sight. If it is on or if it is in sight and a staff member takes it, please give it to them immediately and respectfully. If you give your teachers or supervision staff any kind of pushback at all, then we are going to ask them to just refer you to Ms. Arvanitis or myself. So do not give any pushback for electronics. Otherwise, even if it is your first time having it being taken, we will actually meet with your parent and guardian if you do give that pushback. Tardies and truancy. Students are tardy if they are not in the classroom when the tardy bell rings in the morning time, that is 8 o'clock. Tardy students must sign the tardy log each time. And accumulating repeated tardies will result in lunch detention, lunch cleanup, parent contact or a parent meeting, Saturday detention, or other appropriate consequences depending on the severity of the tardies, of the degree of the amount of tardies. And then a note on hallway movement. Students may not be out of class during the first and last 10 minutes. I'm going to repeat that. Students may not be out of class during the first and last 10 minutes of any class. Obviously, students will need to use the restroom at times and, perhaps need to leave class in between the 10 minutes at the beginning and the end. So any student outside during class time must have a pass. So any student that is outside must have either a bathroom pass, which right now we have the lanyards in every classroom. We actually are going to very soon we're going to move into having vests to replace the lanyards. More on that later. But that is the bathroom pass. And then students must have a hallway pass, which is the green pass, and that's if they're going one way to the main office, to the counseling office. They must have either of the two, and when supervision will ask to see your pass.
So thank you all for your attention. I just want to close with a quote from President Barack Obama. "We are not entitled to success. We have to earn it." As your teachers, we are going to do our very best to guide you all to success. But in order to be truly successful in life, we need you to accept that responsibility and to earn it on your own. Good luck to everyone, and have a great school year.